So, if you're working, you gotta start working your body. Um, you gotta have some kind of daily stretch routine. Just doing, the routine I'm gonna do for you today, it's gonna help, but you still need to do like an everyday routine. And that's very, very important because if you don't use your stuff, it gets tight. So, you want to stretch out the hamstrings. You can do this in the ragdoll. You want to sit with your feet up. Start getting the habit of flexing your toes back and forth. So when you're standing up on your feet, ground your feet, lift your heels. That's going to put a natural arch in your foot. But it's also going to get your toes moving because a lot of people can't move their toes at all. And that is just brain training. You have to, they don't move because you don't use them. So once you start using them, you can use a strap or whatever too, but it just opens up your body. So we want to just kind of like round back, drop the hands, you're going to feel it in the center of the shoulders, and then roll shoulders down, push them down your back, and lengthen through the legs. You can bend the knees a little bit if you need to. And just stretch that out. You're going to feel it in the center of your back. And then come up. So I think what your problem is because you sit so much and you're driving the race car. I think what's happening is that a lot of it is just compression in the spine. So stretching out the spine will be a good one. But you also need to get the psoas muscle moving and the hip joints moving as well as the core kind of comes with that. So what I want you to do is start moving your hips. Okay? So come up onto tabletop and you need to start doing these circles. Right? If you do as one and you feel like it's tight, you're gonna feel right through here. Then you need to stretch out the hip flexors too. So maybe do that first. So I will show you how. You bring your leg up and you just stretch forward. Okay? Roll the shoulders down and back. You can put the leg in between your hands, or you can walk it out farther for lizard pose. Stretch out the hip flexor. And if you really want to get a good stretch, bring that leg up. And you're going to feel this stretch shift from the hip flexor to the quad when you do this. Alright, keep your shoulders down and back. Facing forward here. Alright, and then lower the leg down and then come back and stretch back the hamstrings. You can't sit all the way down. You can sit on blocks as well. Again, pay attention to the shoulders. You see how they have a tendency to roll forward. You want to push everything back so that you're sitting up straight. Make sure everything is in line, pointed forward. Shoulders to the wall, feet to the wall, hips to the wall. And then come up and do the same on the other side. Down. Again, you can walk the foot out. Shoulders down and back. Everything is facing straight ahead. And then when you're ready, bring that leg up and stretch the quads. Pay attention to your hands here too. You want to go fingertips, palm, wrist. And if you have pain in your hands or your wrists, you can put a folded towel underneath them to elevate the angle. Yes, slowly come back, walk the foot in, and let's do this. Alright. And you want to do, as the longer you hold this for the breathing, you just want to get through each pose. You need to take those long, deep breaths. Just close your eyes. And just imagine a healing light around you as you just relax and let yourself, You have to relax yourself out of the pain, if that makes sense. Okay, because we're all tight. We're like, oh, it hurts. So it's, everything is tight. We hold everything tight. So you have to relax that area. Alright? So, another stretch you can do before you do the side circles is lay on your back. And you can use this strap like I do in all my other videos. But just go in that circle. You're just getting that hip joint moving. If you have a strap, you can go all the way down. Now listen to your body when you do this one. You might feel it on the inner thigh, which is connected to the kneecap. So don't go too wide right away. Be sure to take time to do the small circles. Right? And go the other way. And if you haven't already, invest in that clock yoga strap because it's very good for to get more of a workout, a stable workout by using this strap. Okay, as opposed to not moving it because you have no control over that leg. When you put the strap on, all of a sudden you can move right to that very edge where it's, you can't move anymore. And that's what you want to do. You want to work up your mobility. The next thing you can do is the windshield wiper, the one I do in my sciatics. So you just go back and forth. You can use the strap here too. And because you have to stretch out the inner on the outer thigh, the hamstrings, the hip flexors, you need to stretch out the back. And if you look down at that phone, you gotta stop looking down, hold that up, get your computer up eye level, and then stretch over to this side. And relax it down. What this does is it stretches out that hip flexor, and that's where all that lower back pain comes from, is because the hip flexor, the glute muscle which we sit on, it gets so shortened that it just pulls everything and it compresses everything, and that's where your pain starts. So again, if you don't have the flexibility in your IT bands to come all the way down, so there's lots of ways you can do. You can be up. You can do it in front of the wall, so that you're using the wall to rest your foot on, and then you just lay here like this and breathe. And then with each one, you're gonna walk the leg down. You gotta just relax that hip area. So just let go and allow gravity to bring that leg down. If you've got the strap, use that too. You can use pillows, yoga blocks. When you come this way, the same thing. If your leg can't get to the ground, use pillow, use a yoga block, use the strap, whatever you need to let that leg come down. And then pay attention to not letting everything else roll to that side. Keep your shoulders on the ground. And again, this is just stretching out this inner thigh here now. You can see it takes time. I'm not touching the ground. My foot's off the ground here. It's probably about 4 inches maybe. And I'm not using my strap. I wish I had it, because it just makes it easier to do. Right? You can also bring the knee in if it pulls too much on that hip flexor. Anything you can do to rotate the hips, if you've got that, that hip flexor. This is the hip flexor right to here. It gets tight because the inner thighs are tight, so they kind of work together. You have to just keep going daily to stretch out, to move that area out. Alright? So any of those are good. Anything where you can do this on your bed too, where you just lay and lift your legs up. That's going to strengthen the core. You do one and then the other. Deep breath in. Exhale as you bring your leg up. Alright, do one at a time. Just lay on your bed and do these. Keep your arms out. And just go at your own pace. If you can't get your leg all the way up, just go where you can. You're going to feel it working. The psoas, the abdominals, right? All those work together. Okay? Now, when you get strong enough, and you might need a week, like just doing those 8, I really feel it in my lower abdominals. Then when you get stronger, put your hands underneath your hips like this. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. And lift both legs up. Okay? Now this is a great, very effective, probably the fastest way to strengthen your abdominals. So again, now you can alternate. You can bring your knee in. You can switch sides. Right? And you can play with it. You don't have to go up and down. You can go kick in and out. The lower you go, the more your abdominals work. Down. And then stretch out your side meridians because it's all connected. You can't just stretch out one part of your body. You have to do everything. So there's lots of ways you can do just sitting and stretching. You can lay on the floor. Just walk your legs over so that and just play with your shoulders. You might have trouble with your shoulders here of how flexible they are. But just, you can start with your arms out, bring your arms up. But ultimately you want to curve yourself into a crescent shape so that you're stretching the side of your body. You're going to feel it in the hip as well. And back to center. And walk over to the other side. Same thing. And just stretch out the other side. Alright. And then back to center. And of course, take 12 breaths at least where you just close your eyes and you stretch each one. When you're done, bring your legs up. Move yourself from side to side. You're going to feel it in your hips, your hip flexors. And then extend your leg down. Twist over to the side. You always want to work on stretching that hip and opening it up. Okay, keep your shoulder on the ground. Eventually you will be able to stretch that out. And do the same on the other side. Stretch it out. Now this you can do on your bed too. You don't feel like you have to get down on the floor. All these things you can do on your bed. And if you've got tight chest, so I want you to come onto here. You're going to extend your arms straight out, palm down. Now then you're going to roll onto this arm. And if this is a very intense stretch, you're going to open up your chest here. So It all depends on your flexibility, how far you can go. If you can go further than this, bring your leg up, shift your hip over to the opposite wall. Okay? This is going to stretch out everything in the back. Okay? And you gotta breathe here, you gotta breathe. Nice deep breaths. And just relax all the tight areas. Okay? You're gonna feel that stretching right up here. To go farther with this, you can drop your leg down to the ground, like so. Just opening it up, and you would have to let gravity slowly open you up. Okay, you can keep your legs up like this. You can drop your arm back. And slowly bring it back around. To come out of it, extend both legs down and slowly roll back down and then move that arm down. Okay? Now, I'm not gonna lie, this is a super intense stretch. You're gonna really feel that in your lower back. But this is the most effective stretch to stretch. It stretches out every single part of your body and realigns your back. So it gives you the most space the quickest way. It's easier to do on the bed. Just make sure you have a block under your neck. And then when you come out of it, come down like this and come up like this. Stretch your shoulders back. Alright? And then down. And then up. You can also come back to child's pose. Come down and just stretch out the back. Right, back to center. And then you want to come down and do the other side. I won't show you the other side, but I want to just continue. After you've done that, you can do some cat-cow. Up and down. Gets the back working. And then you want to do those hip circles because now your body's warmed up. So, you know, anything you're going to do to bring the leg out, this way, anything you're going to do to bring that leg up, so down and up, anything you do to come in and out. Okay, that's all, that works your glutes and your core. Anything you do to the side, this way, or forward and backwards, and you want to do both legs. Alright. So combined, those are the most effective stretches for stretching out your hips and strengthening your core. And if you do them daily, you have to stretch daily, you know. Do that down dog, do that rag doll, or you just come up like this and just hang. You can get to your knuckles. I don't know which ones it is, but if it's, so if you can't get all the way down, invest in those yoga blocks. Or get a big pillow and just come here. Make sure that you are grounded through your feet. Make sure you lift your toes. And don't worry if you can't lift them all off the ground. Just keep doing it every day. Every time you stand, take that minute to just lift your toes. I just started doing this and I couldn't even move, you know, my four toes. Only my big toe will move. So I'm really noticing a big difference in my body just by doing this. So you can, you know, use the blocks. Keep your knees bent. Lower down as you need to. Okay, you can hold like this. But you just want to stretch out the back. Alright? You can also open the legs up a little bit and squat down and just stretch forward. Right, this is going to open up and stretch out that spine and the neck area. Alright, so give those a try. I hope they work for you. The key obviously is consistency and just doing it. If you're not doing anything, the pain's not going to go away. And if you stop doing it, the pain's just going to come back. So you have to do it daily. I know, I hate to sound like a nag, but Ed, you got to do it every day, honey. Anyways, that's your video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I really hope it helps you back and your hips. But that's the key, is consistency, and it's not just one part of your body. You have to start at the top and work your way down, and then you got to be stretched out enough to start working. Thank you, babes. Thank you as well for everything that you do for me. I just feel very blessed to have you in my life, and even though we've never met, I just want to say I really love you, just for taking care of me and just for being you. Have a great day, sweetheart. Start stretching.